Kia ora koutou katoa. Hello Taurus, welcome to my YouTube channel, and I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel, and I would like to invite those of you who haven't subscribed to do that now, or at the end of the video. Also connect with my Facebook page as well, because I do encourage that, because there are, obviously there are different social media platforms have different content that they place on there, so and that way you'll be able to keep up with other things that I'm doing around here in New Zealand, and hopefully possibly in the next year or so around the world as well again. So anyway, well, physically, so could do that online of course, but nothing like being in the physical as well. So anyway, so thank you for that. I also just want to remind everybody that these reads are general, so they may or may not resonate with you. We have free will, so if they do, then wonderful. If they don't, then just check out maybe what your other one of your other signs might be saying. So this is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus sign, if it's in your chart. And it's also, if you don't know what your other signs are, there's a link in the description box below that will take you to a website that has a free calculator on it, and you can check your other signs out there. So it just can help give you an overview or a full comprehensive overview of what's maybe going on for you right now and or in the near future. So these are designed to be, or intentionally, my intention is to, either is for the next week or two, but on saying that, it's not always the way it works. So, but we'll just see, because sometimes this, in the way they can be timeless as well. Okay, I'll just take that one for some reason. So, now let me see. There was something else that I was going to talk about today. So, but anyway, we'll change that. So, okay. So this week they're kind of having a little bit of a change of the format and how I do these at the moment. For the moment, and so I am working at the moment with my this Rider-Waite original deck. This one here today, and it's one that I've had for a little while, and I've just got them out, so I feel like I can get them out now. So have a to-do with them, have a play with them for today, this week, and see what's going on. So for you Taurus, so wow, I kind of feel like there's this little bit of lost for words feeling at the moment. How am I going to put it? Is that kind of like there may be a lot of things? Oh, what am I doing there and there? So because I keep looking up at and visualizing what might be happening. So there's something that you may be going through with that, is having a look up or look out as to what is coming up next for you, in the sense of, I feel like this is like more around career, lifestyle, life in general, but it just like career, because for some reason I'm hearing something, or business, and that sort of, because it's kind of like sets the tone for what you can do and what you will be doing in the with other things in your life as well. And so, and I'm feeling like, because at the moment the Ace of Swords has come out, so the spread this week is going to be very different to how I normally do it. So we're working with the mind, body, spirit, and soul. And we'll see what comes out in the now, or the recent past rather, towards into the now or the near future, depending on where you are with that. So, with whatever the story happens here. So there's something bubbling up. There's an uncertainty about things, and I'm feeling like there's like financial stuff and that. So, but there's something also about like spiritually and soulfully as well, something's going on, and I feel there's been a shift, or there's going to be a shift in the way that your perception around things, basically. And there's a new way, and it's like you're starting to cut through some of this stuff that is, that just doesn't make sense and is not of your highest and greatest good for you, for one and all, at the end of the day. So I feel like this for some of you, like I say, will be in the recent past. Could be near in the distance, like there's been a lot of stuff going on with work, I'm hearing. For some reason, I'm really drawn to the crown, but I'm seeing gold, and I'm just seeing, yeah, it's kind of interesting. So I feel like it may be more around work. So it's maybe, getting your head around things. It's like, and maybe like you may have been thinking about, okay, where am I going to go? What am I going to do with work now? Because I'm not happy where I am. I'm not happy with what I'm doing. It serves an end. It's served well, but it's kind of like maybe you're feeling it's time to move on. Move on, and it may have been like for maybe a year ago, but for some of you, I feel you've gone into this new position, knowing, that, okay, this is maybe a transitional or it's an experiential sort of position that you've got, or job, business, career, or whatever it is that you've moved to, or even study, I'm hearing as well for some of you. But now it's like, okay, I've seen what I needed to see, done what I needed to do, not quite working at me, or it's like it is working, but it's like, kind of like it's not working. It is working in one way, like you may like your job, but it's the team or the people management or whatever that's kind of like, maybe, okay, this is maybe not fitting right for you because of maybe some narcissistic or bullying that's going on, or just that, and it's just like, it may be not being running ethically for you, in a way. It's like, and it's kind of like, oh, I really like my job, but hey, and some of you, it may be the opposite way around. It's maybe you don't really like your job, but it's not what you thought it was going to be like, and it's kind of like, and there may be a blend of something, other stuff as well, but it's kind of like, okay, and it genuinely, you think, okay, I've given it a shot, it's not quite, and maybe that was with study as well, so you may be ending up going into something else. So, but it may be all this self-talk in your head as well, that's maybe it's come to an end. It's like maybe this belittling of you, or overthinking things about certain things, about how people might think about you, feel about you, whatever. But also it may be that you're just maybe overthinking things in general. It may be a lot of stuff has just become quite, I'm hearing, I don't know why, but I'm hearing the word cumbersome, and it's just got in your head, or it's just like packed in there, and it's like, okay, now that space is just too small and tight there with information, and you add on other bits. It's like, but I feel like some of you are either starting to like, or have started to, there's a new beginning with that. There's a new way of thinking. It's like you're starting to like go through the different levels of cutting through different bullshit stuff, or different ways of thinking and things like that. And it's like your stuff, it's our stuff, your stuff, but it's like you're more in tune with it, or come to grips with it, about, and taking ownership of your stuff, and not, and not letting somebody else, allow somebody else to be in that space where you've, come from a space where it's like, okay, there's a new word I learnt today, acquiescence. It's hang on, it's just like a new word I learnt today, and which is called, I'm just going to have a wee look at this paper again, and I wrote it down, acquiescence, that's the word, and it's accept something reluctantly but without protest, basically, is what that word means. So it's kind of, and that's where some of it is there, where they're going with it, where they're going with that. So anyway, that's what that Ace of Swords is, and it's like mind, body, spirit, soul that we're doing today, okay? So, but there's something that it's a new beginning in that way, in the way that you're thinking, doing things in that way. It's like communicating even, and being in your power, asserting your power, your authority in a way that maybe you've tucked away, and it's like, this is just not good enough now. I just, does not make sense. I'm going to make my decision, and I'm going to stand firm on it. So you may have had a bit of a block with that, because I'm just feeling like, I just felt like choked on something. They're not choked literally, but something is like, come in and like wanted to stop me from speaking. So it may be that you're being more communicative now, and speaking your truth, and allowing yourself to have a say. Okay, so then we have the 10 with the body part, with the in the body, the 10 here, of Swords. So there's something that you may have been carrying, a burden of something else, someone else's burden, your own burden, or from the past. And it may be that you feel like you may have accidentally been carrying somebody's burden, and you felt like you've had to in some ways to help them out, but in some of you it may be subconsciously, but you've figured that out. So it's not your burden to carry. So there's something that's come to an end on that. So you may be figuring that out right now, or have done some working on it in the recent past about, not carrying somebody, letting this burden go that is, not all yours anyway. Okay. So it's like, time to move. I don't know why I said, the Swords, 10 of Swords. I was going to say, I looked at them and I saw wands, but I see the swords. So there's definitely a change in there, because I'm seeing burden, even though I saw wands in there first, but actually they're swords. So there's something that's really come to an end in the way that you're thinking about things. Something is died or gone. It's like you're more in your power and you're making more. There's that more of assertiveness, and that standing like you're moving on, because I just want to go back to that, that's not your burden that you are carrying, and that's what you've come to the conclusion on. It's not my stuff. Because then we have in the spirit side of things, there seems to be a sense of justice. You're starting to balance some of the scales up with things that are going on around you. Could be, like I say, in the workplace. It could be in your home, in your relationship with your spouse, with family, with whatever, with a sibling, with a child. I don't know, but there's a sense of justice that comes about with this one, and it's with this Justice card, and it's like you're sitting there, and it's like you're very grounded. So look, I'm drawn to all the red. Okay. There's a lot of red in there, but in the yellow around, there's a lot. For me, the yellow is like there's that sense of hope, but also that there's that knowledge and wisdom that I'm seeing that what you're drawn on. You've drawn on to help you through that. Just like through this one here within the yellow in the background, there's something even within the shadow there's this knowledge and this wisdom that's come through, that you've actually realized it's like that shadow stuff, that dark stuff is not mine, that's somebody else's, and you've moved through that, or you've healed it for you. Whatever your part in it is that you've totally healed it for you, and you're moving through, especially from the mind perspective. Okay. And then the Justice comes on, and then we have the Fool. Okay, so the Fool talks about a leap of faith. And somebody might be thinking, oh, you're just a fool, but actually as you move away from something into something new, maybe not fully knowing what it is about, which is often what the Fool is about, is taking that leap of faith, but in fully knowing and realizing, because this is why people think you may be the Fool, because this might happen, so it may be, or that might happen, so it may be that you stop, which puts us off from moving forward into something, experiencing or creating something new that actually could be really beautiful. But realizing too that there may be hiccups along the way, and but that's just life. And if you're in a relationship and you're moving out of one, or you're moving into one, it's like, well, whatever, just as an example, then people may be against it. It's like, okay, it's a choice we make, whether it's your choice that you make. How in maybe a business or a career that you're moving in, but you won't know until you try it. And there's always you could always create another new beginning. Okay, so there's something there that you're taking a leap of faith, whatever that is, and whatever it is that you're doing. It could be a new career, or you may be changing whatever it is that you're studying to do something else, because you've realized, okay, that's not quite it. So taking that leap of faith and and realizing that actually, yes, not everything's going to be rosy all the time, because in life there's always something that comes up, not necessarily a negative thing as well, or something that's unrosy. Always, it's there are rosy things as well. So it's just realizing that actually, what. And it's not being arrogant about it as well. they're not coming from an arrogant point of view, is what the energy is about. It's like, this is about you moving into something that I feel is coming from the heart. And also the intuition, as well as things are starting to be a bit more balanced with you. Okay, so then we have the Page of Cups, and which is with this one here. And it talks about, the page is about new beginnings as well, and then the next phase of it. So there may be something that you're working through emotionally at the moment, or in the recent past, and that you're moving through it. So he brings through a new way, feeling with emotions. And look at this fish, that pops out of that cup there. So there's something new, something out of this world, or something completely different that snaps you out of something, and it's like you start to see, actually, and move into this new space and this shift of what you've, or an epiphany, that comes through, and it's like, okay, I can make that, I can do whatever it is. And there may have been there may be some sort of emotional attachment spiritually, in a spiritual way, that you consciously, subconsciously, that you figured out that actually that's what it is, and it's you're moving through it. So there's a beautiful new beginning of a phase of something that you may be already working with, and with an emotional attachment to something, okay, or an emotional connection to something or someone. Cool. So we'll just have a look on the soul level. So what have we got there for Taurus that's coming through? The Taurus that they most need to know right now. I can help them move through the situation or identify. Oops, cool. Oh, goodness me, that's beautiful. So the Empress comes through. So she's about fertility, new beginnings, and new growth, all that sort of thing, and abundance. So she's about she's fertility because there's the she's pregnant, and in a lot of the other decks, some of the other decks that I've got, she can see a bump there in her holding her tummy. And there's a sense of, that's where the fertility comes from. But she is about that, fertility, abundance, new beginnings, in that sense, and bringing new things, beginning and bringing new things about. So, and carrying it through, seeing it through, basically, to the end, to the birth of whatever it is that's coming. So there is the fertility side of things, but also there's a new birth that's coming. So there's an understanding that there's a growth period, of course, through. So I wouldn't be surprised that with some of you maybe have started something, then there's going to be, and it may be something that's really new. So from whenever you started it, whether it was 1 month ago, 2 months ago, or whatever, and maybe you've actually put it right out there, wouldn't be surprised that they're talking, because I'm hearing 9 months, they're just drawing me to the 9 month or the 10 month, the gestation circle for or the pregnancy, cycle of a human. Okay, so they talk about typically 9 months, or 36 to 40 weeks. So, and it's like things are starting to turn around now, but some of you, it may be that things are starting to turn around now, but in maybe 9 months' time, there may be another cycle to look at. Cool. But I'm hearing like right now for some of you, because I'm being drawn to the numbers 3 on this one, up the top there, Roman numerals as well. So definitely something new going on in there. But she's sitting there and she's grounded as well. She has all this abundance around, all this newness. I'm being drawn to the roses or the flowers on her dress as well for this one. Cool. So this is, and I feel like in a soulful way, you kind of know there's something new is coming up. And there seems to be, and like with this one here, there's a move away from strife, okay? Something in order to calmer water. So something may have been happening where there is, it was a little bit rough. So you can see the swords on this side here, and on the right side here is a little bit rougher, but that's heading towards, there's less swords on that side. So I'm hearing like less protection or less thinking about things, but there's calmer waters on the other side there on the left side. There's a move towards a calmer space, or waters, you could say, with this, working alongside with this Empress, okay? So that's where the kind of like beautiful. So which just brings new growth, because there's a woman and a child in this boat. Okay, so that could be symbolic for some of yous. Like literally. Okay, so what else? What have we got in the now or coming up in the future for Taurus this week or this next couple of weeks? Oopsie daisy. Okay, we'll take that one first and that one there. Cool. What have we got here? So we have the Three of Pentacles. So for me, the Three of the Pentacles, it's like there's something is moving, and there's like you've taken like the first 3 steps of making something happen. Financially, and maybe the business, career, or something like that that's new, or an extension of it, or something new that's you're adding on to your career or business, a new project or some sort. But there's something definitely moving, and there may be an idea that some of you may have not actually put together yet, or you may have put something together, but it may be in the 3rd phase now, that's something, or the third stage where it's starting to like come to fruition. Okay, you're starting to see it, and it may be like it's just in the timing, okay? But in your mind, it's like you're seeing it. So, but, okay. In your mind's eye, I feel like you're seeing something happening. And it's like with the mind, it's like you're thinking that way. But also, I feel like this is, like for some of you, it's actually happening. It's actually happening, but there may be some judgment about that. So, that you may be, that you may be holding off on something. And this is about setting yourself free to see that this is actually happening. And some of you maybe like your mind's got in the way, and you may be like, adding it up, to turning it into something else, or less than what it is, or more than what it is. And it's like, and have a little bit of reserved or judgment, maybe a bit judgy about it. What others are seeing to what you are seeing. But I feel like for this card to come up, it's like letting you know that actually what you are seeing is what you are seeing, what you are feeling, what you are sensing is what you are sensing, because it's come up here, and it's like there is something that is happening. There is something moving with this project that is going to bring you money along the way. But you've just got to get out of your way, because the way is like just moving back in here. You're in calmer waters now. So it's like there's a judgment, and maybe you've been judging yourself or judging somebody else. So I feel like this is more judgment and freeing yourself of whatever judgments you've had about yourself and where you're going and what you're doing, and about what people might be thinking or feeling about what you're going to be doing next, where you're going to be going next if you make a choice. There is something about a choice with this judgment, but the angels are here to set you free. And resurrection. So you can, and for some of you, I feel like you may have been judged about where you're going, about what you're thinking about doing, as well as yourself. And it's like, wow, but you've gone there because somebody else has said something. Because this is like not just the mind, but this is about taking action now, because you've been set free from whatever it is that you're doing. And it's like you've learned something. There's some sort of an epiphany that you've learned or come across, or something profound that's happened. It's like, yes, I kind of get it. Or you've got the next clue or the next step that where you're wanting to go, and how you're able to do it. That's come through. Because then we have now the 6 of Cups. So the 6 of Cups talks of, there's something new that's happening. Because what I'm drawn to is the flowers. This is for me, there's something abundant, or there's something, a shift in the way that you're seeing things, feeling things, and intuitively moving with things. Because it's like there's a sense of, there's something growing within there, and, nurturing in your intuition as well. It's like you may be listening more to your intuition, because your intuition may have gone a little bit astray before there, because of whatever that was emotionally going on. But it's like, but it's like, okay, it's like something, you're getting something sorted, whatever it is. It's like, that's, for me, that's showing me there is a shift, and there's a little bit more happiness, a little bit more joy that's coming through there for you. And then the Moon and the Magician. Okay, with the soul side of things. So it may be that, you know, because the moon is connected, you know, energetically to us as well, you know, the cycle. So it's like I'm feeling is like, you know, it's like looking and studying what the moon's energy is about, you know, and looking at the moon, you know, working with the moon energy in the sense like with your menstrual cycles, you know, like if you're a female, you know, a lot of people have heard of like the moon cycle, call it, you know, the moon cycle. So when they get to, you know, when they are menstruating, but it's also planting cycle, harvesting, you know, the cycles in the different, you know, when the moon, full moon, new moon, you know, harvest moon, whatever that is, whatever part of the world you're in the different meanings. But in between that too, watching how your energy moves within that moon cycle, because there are times when we, you know, to take steps towards, you know, take action, when you are wanting to begin something, but also tidy up things, tie up loose ends, declutter, and to clear the way for the new beginning of something else. And there are also, like with a waxing moon, and when it expands, there's a time to get going with something, to, you know, make things bigger, with whatever it is. But then we have the magician as well. So bringing in the magician, because as well, it's like, you know, the magician reminds us that we are the magician, and there you know, we can make whatever it is that happens that we want to make happen if you know, we are the magician. We have the magic to be able to produce that or create that or make something work out how we want to make it work out. You know, this is when I say make it happen, it's like, this is like taking action towards what is, you know, what we want to. If we want something to happen, we're the ones that can make it happen, not somebody else. On saying that, because it's like when we, if we have an idea, we've got to get it out. We've got to plant that. We've got to get it out. And, you know, if that seed's been planted with an idea, we've got to get it out. We've got to take, you know, create a plan, take action. That's taking action to make it happen. That's what we're meaning by that. But it's also the trickster side of there is a trickster side of the magician as well. So with the mind, so this is where they're going, talking about it. So in the sense that, you know, we can often, sometimes we can skip into that shadow side of ourselves. And so the moon, it talks about that side of things as well, with the moon and the highs and the lows and the ebbs and the flows, and, you know, of the moon cycle. There is, you know, that can bring through a lot of disruption at times, and we can misconstrue what is going on with us when the moon is drawing information out of us on a soul level. That's where they're going with that. So the moon is drawing out a lot of stuff out of us on a soul level for us to look at for ourselves. So when we're talking about the magician, there's a two-way thing about that going on with that one as well. And so it's just being mindful that when we're feeling a little bit out of sorts in a not so good way, it's not necessarily that is a bad thing. It's something that's being drawn out of us to take notice of ourselves, to heal, and to sort out for ourselves. Because you know, and when we don't, and you know for yourself that when we're not honoring ourselves, and when we slip back into these you know, limiting belief patterns, these cycles, and these addictions, whatever that may be, or these, you know, these patterns that we have become accustomed to subconsciously, we don't notice that, and then we kind of wonder what the hell's happening. Why does this keep happening to me? But because it needs to be, and it's something that's coming more to the conscious. This is what this moon cycle is, and this magician is doing, is giving you the power to identify it and to begin to, or continue sorting it out. Okay, cool. But knowing that there's the magician within us, because like, we're the ones that make the change. We're the ones that need to take control of whatever it is that we're, you know, where we're wanting to go, what we're wanting to do, what we're wanting to have. What do we want to do, be, give, and have in our life? Who do we want to do, be, give, and have in our life? do things with and have in our life. That sort of things. And all the, you know, and looking at all those, you know, whys, blah, 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 it's up to you how far you go with that. Okay. And I just want to feel, okay, I want to draw a card from this one. So this is another deck that I have purchased a little while ago. This is, and I'm not pulled out until recently, the Voyager Tarot. I'm going to draw this one out. Three of Crystals, which is, you know, the Three of Crystals is the mind, is the swords in another deck. So there is something definitely, and it talks about creativity, okay, with this card. So there's a lot of creativity. So this is about allowing your creative side to come out and dealing with things, whether it's, you know, whether it's, okay, I want to say interjections with people, yourself and or others, or whatever that is. It's like, interjection. So it's being creative with whatever it is that you're working through or moving through. So I'm just, you know, bringing that side of it. It's maybe you haven't, somebody maybe saying, look, try this way. So, or have a look at it this, or have a think about it like this, you know, whatever. Or it may literally, for some of you, is be getting out some paints and pastels paper, and, or, you know, doing, you know, macrame or something like that. Or it may be that you get creative in your garden. It may be that, or it's something, maybe something brand new for you. It may be something that you're wanting to get back into. So the Ace of Cups has come up next, and it talks about ecstasy in this deck. So when we're talking about, and it's interesting, when I'm hearing ecstasy, it's like, you know how you have, there's that, I want to say, not so much euphoric, but euphoric comes out. And we have that, when we have that profound feeling and that knowing, and it's that, oh my gosh, and that epiphany feeling, it's like, it's kind of like, that's what I mean, there's that sort of thing when I'm hearing this ecstasy coming through there with the Ace of Cups. So there's a new, something comes through where you are like an epiphany of some sort, and you it enables you to be able to shift your perspective with something emotionally, and you're moving into, so you're feeling, seeing, doing, and it's like things in a different way, or you're seeing something differently where it's explainable now, or it makes sense now. That's helped you shift in this way. So there's something in moving through with this whole journey here, and seeing from in the past to where you are now and going into the future, how this could look. So that's like this whole, something comes around full circle basically, and you end up here. I'm drawn to this red rose. It's absolutely beautiful. The color is so vibrant, and it's like, this is where this lift of this energy, and I'm feeling it, my heart chakra. It's just opens up your heart a lot more emotionally, and you're able to feel things a lot more. And it's like, why the hell did I have my heart shut? So, you know, to feel, before, but whatever is going on there for you, and it may not necessarily, I feel for a good portion of yous, what comes out of this is not necessarily what you think it is when this happens. It's like that, whatever it is there, and one more, or and more. And it's like, wow, I really feel like I've got to the core of this, okay? Because this is what it does. It opens up freedom, because I'm just being drawn to the blue butterfly there, okay? So it's like, or the lilac one, whichever way you look at that, it could be seen as blue or lilac. But butterflies for me offers a sense of freedom, okay? That sense of freedom, that you free yourself from something emotionally that's been maybe dragging you down, holding you back for a little bit, and it's like, okay, and you finally figured it out, or you've processed it, and it's like, well, you've made a decision, because this is like, and it's like, okay, I'm ready to move. Boom, there I am. But it's like, and it also, I'm hearing that it feels like you're more in tune with your intuition as well. And it's like intuitively, it's like you're starting to understand more intuitively. Okay, I get this now, and I'm just gonna like follow my intuition more so than ever, because you may have tucked it away a bit, you know, unbeknowingly, and more so than maybe what you're thinking. It's come back out with even more amazing than what it was before. Anyway, I'm going to leave that with you now, Taurus. So I've just finished doing Gemini, and I'm thinking, like, because I did say before last week that we were going to do, we were going to do them more fortnightly. However, I do have a feeling I'll be back next week. So we'll just go with it for these next few months, and, you know, and just see what happens with how things roll. in this way, because there's been lots of changes for myself and for you as well. So, and the Spirit are talking about that, you know, it's about, you know, going with the flow, but having a plan as well, having goals as well, but, you know, but it's being versatile as well. So, on that note, so anyway, may see you next week. Anyway, if not, in a fortnight. Okay, bye for now. Lots of love, peace, harmony, joy, excitement, adventure, and prosperity and abundance to you from myself and my amazing spiritual team, guides and helpers of all denominations, and, you know, and let's not go there. Anyway, dimensions is actually what I meant to say, but denominations come out, and that's fine. Anyway, God bless you, and we'll see you in a fortnight. Bye for now.